This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 250.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Denny.
You know what today is?
What's today,
It's my
Denny?
birthday.
Happy birthday,
No, it's
Denny.
not.
It's not.
But you know what it is?
What is it?
It's John's birthday.
Hey, John, it's your birthday.
No,
Hey. Oh, who is it?
It's the halfway
It's a-
point in our podcast, TC.
That's right.
Oh, it's
Oh.
a birthday.
Wait a minute. We
What?
might not
Ish.
make it through this one. So is it not halfway until we're actually through this one?
Halfway through this one, we're halfway through. We've had a couple bonus episodes. It really
That's a fair
depends
point.
on how many other bonus
Halfway
episodes
through
we
this
have.
one, we're halfway through,
Yeah.
Denny. I like that. Yeah.
That's right. So we can't really celebrate until we're about halfway through this one.
Okay. All right. I'll set a timer. 30 minutes in, I'm gonna
Yeah.
30
I'm gonna
minutes in,
interrupt
we'll
one
do
of you, and I'm gonna yell "Happy Birthday" or something. I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Timer. Gonna set this one up here. What do you think? 30 minutes? 35 minutes? What are we
That's
thinking
about it.
here?
That's about it for us. Yeah.
30?
Yeah.
Yep. Start. Boop.
Yeah.
All right. Good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast. We watch the best movies ever made. We've watched half of them. Half of the best movies ever made. Half of them.
According to some list.
I am like half cultured right now. I feel it.
Ooh,
I
half
feel
culture.
like, so, all right, impressions. How do you feel about the best movies ever made watching half of them? Generally.
Not great.
Well, I think it's very clear we've watched the bottom half.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point, John. I will give you that one. I think that's a very good point. Well
Yeah.
said.
So,
Yeah, 125 doesn't seem like that much from this end of it, and I'm kind of disappointed in the list as well as you
Yeah.
guys.
That's good. That makes me warm and fuzzy inside because I fucking hate this list. But we got another half to go, so that might be all right.
We do.
It might be
And
better.
TC is going
Yeah.
up first this week. We're going to watch the 2006 movie Pan's Labyrinth, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Pad's Labyrinth?
Pad's Labyrinth.
Paz Labyrinth?
Labyrinth of the Fawn, whatever you want to call
I
it.
just watched.
the
I just
Fawn.
watched Labyrinth.
Oh, David
Oh,
Bowie.
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I definitely told somebody I was watching Pan's Labyrinth, and they were like, "Oh, David Bowie was great in that." I was like, "Nope, no."
He played the frog in the tree.
No.
Nope.
Do you know? And I forgot to bring this up in the Blade Runner episode. But originally, the director wanted David Bowie to play the CEO guy.
I think we did bring that up.
Did we?
I think so because I knew that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
knew it too, but
Yeah.
I didn't bring it up.
Oh,
I
we
don't
didn't say it
remember
out
it
loud?
being in the podcast. I don't think we said it a lot. I think we were all just thinking it in our heads.
Yeah. And TC, you get to usher us into this half. You've never
Ooh.
seen this movie.
Nope.
What did you think?
Have you seen any of Del Toro's films?
Didn't we watch one already?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, he only has
All
one
right,
on this
then,
list.
no.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no
He
idea.
did like The Devil's
Right.
Backbone, Kronos. He
Kronos,
did like Hellboy
yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
He did Blade 2.
He did
did-
Blade 2. He also did Mimic was his first one, which he has.
No, Mimic was
he
the
has-
second one. Kronos was the first one.
Oh, no, Mimic was kind of his first Hollywood one.
Right.
I think I
Yeah.
saw Mimic.
Yeah, I saw Mimic too. It was
He
kind of weird.
has horror stories about that, apparently. He was like, his father got kidnapped and he made Mimic, and he ranks making Mimic as worse than that.
Wow, that's a hell of a
That's a pretty funny
that's a
joke.
hell of a thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty
right.
dark sense of humor. I got a lot of stuff on him, but
Yeah.
Well,
he's-
I mean, I
he's
could
awesome.
see it after watching this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Pan's
Yeah.
Labyrinth. Wow.
Pan's
I have to
Labyrinth.
say, absolutely fantastic movie.
Yeah. Woo.
I was hooked. Hook, line, and sinker, folks.
Nice.
Yeah, I was pretty tired, I'm going to say. I was, a little hungover. Had done a little bit too much
Per
partying.
usual.
Yeah, on a Saturday. Was dead on my feet, sitting in bed like, I have to watch this
Did you
fucking
start it and
movie.
you were like, subtitles, oh, God.
Oh, yeah, absolutely what I said. I said, I'm so tired. Why do I do this to myself every week? I should watch it on Friday before I do stuff. And I just sat there. I'd been watching Hap and Leonard like all day. It was just like, something you can barely pay attention to.
What is it called?
Wait, watching
Hap
what?
and Leonard. It's Sundance's first TV like episodic series.
Oh,
It's
Is it good?
actually on season 3 now. It's not bad. Guy from
No,
the Wires in it.
I've not
You know.
heard of this. What is this
But
thing?
it's just a show. What I was
Okay.
leading up to was
Anyway.
I had binge watched like most of the day while I was recuperating this fucking TV show that I could basically fade in and out of. And I was like getting myself ready for the Pan's Labyrinth. I had no idea what it's about. So I'm sitting there like, oh, fuck, here we go. throw it on, and I'm telling you, within the first 15 minutes, I was just like, oh, this is interesting. And then like within the first hour, I was just like, well, wait, what are they? No, but don't go. Oh, why is he killing them? Oh, what the fuck? And it was just, I mean, I was hooked.
Nice.
I was in.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that opening shot of the girl with the blood coming out of her nose. Holy cow, right?
And going back in,
Going backwards,
to her nose.
yeah.
Had no idea they were doing the tale as old as time thing, which is starting at the end, going to the beginning.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast reference there too.
But
Any movie's fair game.
Any movie's fair game. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a hell of a story with all of the violence and just sort of like the fantasy, the imagination of the kid and just like the wickedness of the general. And I mean, it was it was almost like every time there was something really bad happen, they would like switch over to this like really awesome idea of like this girl just kind of being, escaping from all of this madness and looking for other things in the world. The visual effects were good. I'm sure, Denny, you got plenty on that. I didn't do any research,
Oh, yeah,
so
there's
you could
a lot
just
of good-
talk away.
Yeah, there's a lot of documentaries on this.
Guess the budget for this film, TC.
Oh, shit.
I'm sure Denny knows it.
I do.
Let's go with 15 mil, 20 mil.
Good guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I think it's
19,
like
right?
10, isn't
It's
it?
19.
That was
19.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get lucky.
Yeah.
I
I would have guessed a lot more. I would have.
Yeah.
I would have thought a lot
Have
more.
you seen The Shape of Water, his movie that recently won Best
No, but
Picture?
that's what I heard. I heard it's really good, though.
Yeah, he got $1 more million to make that movie. He was
Ooh,
$20
$1
million
more.
for that
Oh
one.
wow. Well, he
Wow.
also rejected his salary for this one, so he could get what he wanted done.
Not all of it. Not
right?
all of it.
or all of it, or partially.
Partially. Yeah, most of it.
Well, I'm sure he
He
got a
does these really
percentage on
cool
the back
things.
end.
Yeah.
No, he wants shots in the films, and so he bets his salary on it, and whether it'll make the final cut or not. Like he did that with Mimic. He
because he's
have his
definitely got
salary.
residual percentages that are decent.
He
Got it.
wouldn't do residuals even. He didn't do residuals for
Oh,
Pan's
please.
Labyrinth even.
There's no
Not for
way he
this
didn't
one.
do it.
Not for
Yeah,
this
they
one, no,
said he
because he
didn't.
was begging to do this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Damn, that was a dumb move.
He had to, it was like a rare
What are you
co-production.
thinking?
Well, he wanted to get it done. It made his career.
Yeah, I know,
this
but
guy,
Jesus.
this guy is really cool. He's really.
He's a
neat to
super
hear.
nerd and he's really
Yeah.
smart and he loves making movies and
Yeah.
he
Well,
seems
it's
like a great
evident.
director. Yeah.
Evident. I mean, and I have to say the acting was superb from
Mhm.
really almost all of the characters. I don't think
Yeah.
I had anybody in there that I was like, oh, geez, you're just ruining this movie.
That's
Yeah.
a fair point. Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
it's great
Every
all
little
around, right?
every little character was good. It didn't matter. Like any ancillary character, still good. It was
Yeah.
just, it was phenomenal. I mean, I would definitely watch this movie again. Absolutely, like have no ill will towards this one, which is rare.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's the
So-
most positive review you could ever get. Pretty much.
I think so.
Yeah,
From me,
yeah.
yeah, especially.
No
I did
ill
say
will.
that young little the little girl there was really impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
He's great.
she had a lot of emotion in that face. Even when it was like somewhat happy, it was still like very discernible acting from
You make
her.
a really good point, TC. And I mean, I didn't really notice that, but now that you call it out, it's like, yeah, because she didn't talk a lot, right? So
No.
she had to just express a lot.
It
in
was
terms of
all
what-
expression.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it actually reminds me a lot of the show that's coming out, Hannah, where they have a younger female lead, basically, that is honestly very similar in how much she can emote with her face, and she can say a lot of different things without speaking a word. And I think that goes. I don't know if it's maybe just youth that has that ability naturally because they're not thinking things yet. They're not all up in their head.
Dude,
but,
kid actors are so frequent and they ruin things so bad most of the time.
yeah, right. So I like these ones
Probably
are good
depending
for
on
some
the
reason,
direction
you
too,
know?
right? You can
Yeah.
imagine they're. I think from what you can tell from Del Toro, the way he talks about his film, he has really clear ideas about what he wants.
Right, but also it's the actress because she was cast and they had to rewrite the character because she was older than they originally thought. But on her audition, they're like, we
I
need,
didn't know
we
that.
need her.
Nice. Okay.
Because like
cool.
the character was supposed to be originally supposed to be 7 or 8, and she was
Oh,
11, so
wow.
they had to rewrite the character to be 11.
Actually, I like that I think that it works even better that she's slightly older. But yeah, wow.
I think it does too. It makes more sense, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have this much imagination when you're 10.
right, but
Well,
she
eight.
comes across as strong, believably. If you were 8, you'd be like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't really buy this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like
that's
you're
true.
too forward thinking for that age.
Yeah.
And I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why the generalist people didn't like say something when he's just shooting people all the time.
Because they're afraid that he's
hey,
going to shoot them.
hey, man, just throwing this out there. Maybe don't kill them all. I don't know.
Say what do you think? This is a fascist regime. We
Hey,
do
man.
fascist things.
Hey,
we
man,
kill
like-
people. That's what we do.
Right, but don't bash his face in maybe next time. Maybe just shoot him.
Hey, no. Listen, buddy. You don't bother me about the rabbits. Don't bother me about this shit. If you don't want to bash his face in, don't come bothering me with this stuff.
Yeah,
Check
with
the
this
bag.
bullshit. Check the bag. He was just doing rabbits.
Yeah.
Fucking kill him. Who
He
cares?
wasted my afternoon now. I had a good clock fixing session going on. And you bring me out here.
My 5th daily shave was happening.
Yeah, right? One thing I noticed about the shave, now that you mention it, was an interesting sound design choice.
High
where it was
end
like
sound.
Well,
right?
it was weird, though. It did, I don't know if it, it was just like a ping.
I liked
ping.
it. What'd you think?
I didn't like it.
You
I
didn't
thought
like
it was
it? Oh, yeah.
strange. Yeah, because I don't think, it didn't have any fantastical meaning. He was just shaving. He's not in some world where he's thinking these crazy things and we have a weird sound. It just seemed like a cheap sound for a knife. Where they just, I don't know what they were
it
trying
made
to make
me
it so it
afraid
was
of the
more
blade.
fantastical.
So are you guys just talking just that shaving scene? Is there just some kind? I didn't.
There's
catch that sound of
it's
it.
like a
little
really weird
shing.
ring.
It's a
to it. It's
very
not-
high
yeah.
frequency.
A high
sound.
frequency ring that almost maybe if it was mixed a little bit lower, I wouldn't have noticed it as much.
Well, he
But it
wanted
just
you to
seemed-
notice it because there's other
But it
cues.
seemed like they were calling attention to it.
They
And I didn't
were.
really understand why.
Well,
They weren't,
call
I can tell you
attention
why,
to
yeah.
the blade.
Okay,
To call,
okay.
I think just especially when he's thinking about.
Is it so
slitting his
the
throat.
motif of the blade is and that's why they keep showing you the woman folding up her knife?
Yes.
We got the guy shaving. We
Yeah.
got the thing here.
Yeah.
There's a whole
I don't think
bunch
it
of-
worked.
Yeah,
I never
that's
caught
fair.
any of that. Yeah, I don't think
If you don't pick up on it, then it's kind of. If you don't pick
And
up
you're
on
just
it
like,
and
why
it
did it
distracts
sound like
you,
that?
then that's not good, right? It's
Yeah,
good to
right,
have
right. That-
small
that's true.
things that are hidden, that if you
especially
don't
for
see them-
sound.
Yeah,
sound
exactly.
especially.
Yeah.
I can see a VFX thing being hidden on it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah.
the sound is just and maybe I'm just a little bit more perceptive than some people might be.
For sure.
It really hit me. I was just like, oh, what are they doing? What was that idea? I see where they were going with it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't quite match the
You
shaving.
should have watched I didn't watch
So-
the commentary on that part.
Dude, keep the
com-
Blu-ray. It's one of the best commentaries I've ever listened to, for sure.
Oh man, now I gotta watch the
agree-
commentary, which I'm all
No, I
for
agree,
at this
yeah.
point.
Did you listen to part of it?
I listened to part of it. I didn't get to watch part. As I was just saying, I'm sure Benicio. I'm sure. I'm sorry, not Benicio.
Guillermo?
I'm getting my Del Toro's confused. I'm sure Guillermo.
Guillermo.
God damn it, Guillermo.
Yeah.
I'm sure Guillermo had a the thing about the commentary. Everything that's in there, he has explanations and thoughts about, and not in a isn't this awesome sort of way. He just does it in this very here's what I was thinking and this is what I was trying to do. And it's great. It's
Right.
just, he's just continuously talking about what his thoughts were about the way things.
And he remembers them all, which is even more impressive.
Well, he spent 20 years on this project.
yeah, the commentary is just him continuously saying, yeah, this is what I was trying to do here. This was interesting. It's really amazing how much thought and
Yeah.
not pompous at all. Not
right,
like this
right.
sort
Not
of
just some
arrogant shit.
egotistical director.
no.
It's I was
Yeah.
thinking this.
So I'm wondering during the commentary during that part, if I'm sure he probably talks about it and has a point to it, in
Right.
terms of what was happening.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to
I-
go off. I want a complete tangent here because this reminds me of something I was thinking when I saw that scene. Did we watch a movie together where somebody has them shave them and they cut their throat?
Sweeney
Like-
Todd.
No, was it Sweeney Todd? Somebody the bad guy has the good guy shave them, and there's this really tense moment where they might cut their throat, but they don't. And I'm just
Any movie with a
completely-
straight razor, I think someone's going to get cut with a straight
Yeah,
razor.
me too.
Maybe we just need to edit this out because
Are you kidding me? Every time I get my fucking haircut, I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
They pull out that razor. I'm like, this guy could be a nut. I don't know.
If he sneezes and it slips, I'm
He-
dead.
Hey, hey, man, I like what you did. Don't worry, I'm okay with it. It's fine. You butchered me, but I'm good.
Yeah,
Don't
there was
butcher me
such
for real.
emphasis on the
You know?
razor. I thought something was going to happen later in the movie, and I got confused. I think maybe because I saw this movie a long time ago, and I was thinking something happens with this razor. I think he gets killed by it or something. And
I thought
that's not
so. I
what
remember
happens at all.
his face getting sliced open. And I thought it was from the razor,
Yeah.
but it was from that
Oh,
knife.
Yeah,
the
that was a
kitchen knife.
gnarly
Yeah.
little spot. Huh?
Holy
Movie.
cow.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, man. She really did him dirty, and rightfully so.
What movie is more violent than this movie that we've seen on this list?
It's just amazing how much violence there is, and then how much fantasy there is.
Yeah.
It's two different stories and two different. I mean, it's great.
Dude, this movie made me sick. I remember I tried to I heard how good it was when I was in college. I came back for Christmas break, and I was like with my parents trying to get them to watch it. We watched it, and we had to shut it
Ooh.
off.
Not a parent movie.
No, because they were just like, "This is horrifying." I'm like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
definitely disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's good. I'm going to use something that my friend said because I'm not going to taste, but they said the juxtaposition from the like just the violence to the fantasy and the imagination is heartbreaking. I thought that was a good depiction of it,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
and that's why you had to turn it off, right? Like it's not too much in a disgusting way. It's just too much of like you can't. It's emotionally draining sometimes
Well, it
to
seems
watch
so
it.
real, kind of.
And then it's not in the next scene, right?
Right.
And it's it's a roller coaster of pulling you in and then pushing you back out.
And Del
And
Toro at
it's-
one point
it's
talks
great.
about like he wants the violence to open you. He wants the fantasy to open you up to the darkness and the violence to open you up to the fantasy. Like it makes you vulnerable, like both ways. So like he has at one point in the commentary, that's what he talks about, and he says it much better, I think, than I just did. But it's this idea of like it sort of shocks you into accepting something else. And that's just, I think that's pretty, and that's what he likes. I mean, he really loves the dark fantasy stuff. Like he talked about when he made Blade, he didn't necessarily hate it, but he also was like, he didn't understand why Blade wanted to go kill the vampires because he thought the vampires were the coolest thing about the film. I was like, no, don't kill them.
Give him a chance.
Come
Look at how
on,
they're
man. What are
dressed.
you doing? Another thing I will say about just from a technical standpoint is just when I started the movie, I realized that my TV wasn't plugged into my system. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, and there's just something not right about this
Oh,
right
like the
now. I'm
sound
like, I'm not-
system?
yeah, like that. Like, so yeah, like
Oh.
my nice speakers, my sub, like, you know,
Oh, wow.
it's all tweaked for audio editing. So it's right.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, someone else might call me an asshole, but whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm like, damn, I'm like, the horses are going by and I'm just like, I'm not really feeling it. Oh, the sound's not on. Like, it like dawned
Oh,
on me.
man.
I'm like, I'm missing the fucking LFE, the low frequency effect.
Was he just coming out of the TV or something?
It was just coming out of TV, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
I remember I plugged it in and it was right before a scene where they started riding the horses through the woods. And I was sitting there like, oh, that just sounds so fucking good. Like, it's just such a movie that intentionally uses the LFE track rather than just having it there. And I think that it really goes well with all of the visuals that you're seeing. And it was mixed fantastically.
Yeah,
for
Del
those
Toro
low
talks a
frequency
lot
stuff.
about using that, and he has like a ton of respect for video games, which he feels use sound a lot.
I noted that, John.
as
I
far
was
as the
like, ooh,
atmosphere.
that's a John fact right
John-
there.
Yeah. So he's tried to do some video game stuff as well, but yeah, that was one of the things when he talks about the sound work and stuff, and he has a lot of respect for how video games
Yeah.
are constantly trying to, because when you're playing a video game, you're supposed to be given this feeling that you're in the action, that the action is surrounding you.
Yep, exactly. And I felt that way once I finally got my system back on. And like, and I even turned it up louder than I needed to, and I realized it was getting towards about 9:30, and I was like, it's getting a little bit late. I know my roommate goes to bed a little early.
Oh yes.
And then I had finished the movie, and his girlfriend was leaving, and she was like, Pan's Labyrinth. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I thought so. Movie's awesome, isn't it? I was like, fucking A, it was so good. But they could hear it through the fucking door and the
Nice.
walls and shit. Like, so yeah, I'll have to say, I mean, I'm raving about this one. I really, really fucking liked it.
Oh.
And that's rare for
Dude,
That
it's a
is, yeah.
fantasy movie. What the fuck?
It's great. I know.
Well, yeah.
I thought about that too, Daddy. Don't worry. It did dawn on me. I was like, oh, fuck, I
it's
eat all my
it's
words.
dark fantasy, so you
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah, right. Sad things make me happy. I'm a weirdo. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie talking about the low frequency stuff to just have low frequency occur, not a part of the soundtrack, but just as a part of like a mood setter. Like I noticed
Right,
that too, where
right.
it's just like some scenes
Right.
will just be like, just like growing. And it's not unlike, like Hans Zimmer has that bomb thing. That's part
Right,
of the
right.
soundtrack.
Dude, it's gonna be, yeah. Right.
This just has like rumbling that's like consistent and isn't a sound effect. It's like not something that's
it is
supposed to
a
be
sound
something
effect.
in the
It's
movie.
like ambiance
Right.
or something. It's
Yeah.
like
But it's not like
atmosphere.
horse hooves. It's not like noise that's coming from the movie. It's like a sound effect, I guess. I would
Right.
say
No, it's
opposite
just
of
bringing
wrong.
you in on a low end. So
Right.
you're like, oh shit, something's about to happen. And then it does. And it like totally resolves correctly. And it's a great use of sound. I think, sound gets a bad rap or just none at all, right?
Yeah,
People
no
just don't
rap,
give a shit.
zero rap.
Literally, nobody gives a fuck. Even in the studio setting, nobody gives a shit. Literally, sound is the least thought about. Even when they got some other fucking team doing it from another, not even in the studio. You know what I mean? Like nobody gives a shit about sound. So I really appreciate a movie when you can tell that the upper echelon of the filmmaking process like actually gives a shit And it goes a long way for movies like this. It actually works perfectly. Because obviously, if it's a movie that's based on reality, why would you have that much LFE? It's almost illogical to have that. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But a movie like this, where it's all fantasy based and there's a big focus on the sound, it really goes. It speaks volumes to like just the overall entire creative process that doesn't always get respect. And I'm really a big fan. I will be watching this one again. In fact, if I could find it in a theater, I would go see it in a theater.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Be awesome.
Like a Pan's Labyrinth screening. I bet you they do that shit. Someone's got to do that. We got to ask our buddy in Minnesota there, John.
Oh, yeah.
Put that on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Andy,
put
it on.
Yeah. There you go. We got people now. We got people.
Yeah, this movie would probably be one of those movies for like a midnight showing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it would be good.
Halloween, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a horror movie.
All right, but anyway, that's enough of me. What did you guys think?
John.
TC, it's just great to hear you go on to really rave about a film.
We found one. It only took 125 movies.
Exactly. I don't
well,
think
it was it's the last one at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer to the good stuff.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I think that I think your point about I hadn't thought about it, but that every single character is well done, from the doctor to the girl to the supporting cast. I mean, it's all well done. And so there's nothing that sort of like jerks you out of it that much, which is great. One thing I noticed, which I really love too, is the constant camera movement, which is something that normally might annoy me, but it's really beautifully done.
Especially with the fades, right? Swipe fades.
With the fades, but there's the fades, but then there's just constant slow motion of the camera. And Del Toro talks about that it's something he's sort of like, he started doing when he did Mimic, and he just really loves doing it. And he talked about how it's a complete choreography between the actor and the camera. That he talks about the first scene that he did with the general, and how the actor had a really rough time with it at first, because Del Toro had to say, okay, you go over here, you do 3 puffs, you go over here, and the camera's got to do this, because it's completely choreographed to get the effects that he wants, where the camera is actually moving with the actor and sort of like moving around them. But it's once you start noticing it, it's really beautifully done. It just makes for this sense of it's so smooth that it's not jarring or anything. It just gives you this odd sense of really like this motion that's going on throughout the film, which is really amazing.
Yeah, and part of that, I mean, that scene you're talking about, John, where he's using posts in his in the captain's cabin as like fade points. So like once you hit a post, the other side of the post will be another part of the scene. Like it'll jump forward in time. So like you need to get him do his entire thing by the time the camera in its constant motion hits the post. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
It's beautiful. And I think like the idea of how he uses camera movement all the time in different to compose different shots is really cool. Like when she first tells the story to her baby brother of the rose on the mountain, and you have this fade down into the womb and then into the fantasy world, and the camera's like just keeps doing this descent. It's really cool the way that's all pulled off.
John, you're a doctor. Are wombs really that big? It seems like there's a lot of extra space in that womb. The baby's just kind of floating in the middle of a giant womb.
I don't know.
He's not that kind of doctor.
Oh, fuck. I keep forgetting.
It's a PhD, and I didn't care. Yeah. Hey, look at that. That's too much room in that womb.
Ma'am, hey, just let you know, ma'am, you're a little bit big in the womb area. I don't know what to tell you. It's a little bit area.
You got a lot of gas in there. Place probably smells bad.
But there's a lot of womb there, not a lot of baby. Don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what it is, man. Tiny baby. I don't know what's going on.
Probably why the baby had so many problems.
Should have had a medical expert. Yeah.
No, it's because the fucking weird root thing got burnt to a crisp.
Oh, yeah, the little mandrake.
Yeah, that didn't go well. Yeah.
That did not go well. If it's not in milk, it's fucked.
The other thing, the fawn was amazing. The character, the way that they did it and pulled it off, I thought was really cool.
Did you get to watch any of the special effects behind how they did that?
No.
Is it half animatronics?
It was pretty
half
cool.
animatronics, half CG, or what?
I would say probably 10% animatronics.
Oh, okay.
If that, like
just
5
get a
maybe.
baseline. Get a baseline.
Yeah. You have to look it up. Like
legs.
I'll describe to you how they did it, but you have to look it up because it's.
I gotta watch
crazy.
the commentary now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what
the commentary is good. But just as a character, the fawn was really interesting, and I didn't I didn't notice this, but pointed out in the commentary that the fawn like starts old and grows younger throughout the film. And in the final scene, the fawn no longer has gray hair. He no longer has milky eyes, and he looks like as prettiest. And I didn't even notice this.
He's not covered in moss. He's got red hair.
I didn't notice it anymore at all.
Yeah, because he's at that point, he's making this proposition to the girl, and the girl has to choose. And
these little details are like it's such fucking crazy shit.
I know.
Someone thinks about it like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's why the commentary is so great, because he in a non-complicated way just describes all this stuff, and it's really cool.
Right.
And
like gives you a reason for it, even though it doesn't even matter because you wouldn't notice it necessarily.
But it's just like, I did this. I was thinking about this, and this is what I tried to do. And it's just really, really fantastic. I agree, Denny. It's my favorite commentary by far. But I haven't watched as many as you have. But this one was pretty cool.
Oh, they really span the gamut there, those commentary tracks.
Oh, I know.
What do you mean? You don't like the old 90-year-old guy talking about women being shitty? What are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
I do know that you wake up yelling.
Peter Cowie! Peter Cowie! Oh, God. Mr. Cowie? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Cowie. Oh, Mr. Cowie.
Oh,
You again.
Mr. Cowie.
Hi.
Thank you,
How
Mr. Cowie. Hey, Mr. Cowie.
This is me in 20 years
Mr.
just in a
Cowie.
cell.
I know.
Oh, Mr. Cowie.
Just
See,
staring
Mr.
at the
Cowie.
wall in the corner, looking at Mr. Cowie. Mr. Cowie. Hi, Mr. Cowie. I'm Mr. Cowie. No, you're Mr.
That
Cowie.
might be
I'm
the
Mr. Cowie.
breaking point where you sort of lose it, is that you find yourself quoting Cowie, and you'll be like, that guy originally did, oh my God, no!
And there's like a second of self-realization right before he goes back into another conversation.
And then that's when we had to lock Denny up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had to let Denny go at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The list made him crazy, folks.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah. What else was fantastic about it? I mean, again, just everything was amazing. I felt the general's character was really well done. For a bad guy, he was spectacular.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, he really was terrifying. And just that son of a bitch attitude.
Yeah, but the way they treat him, and Del Toro does, again, the way they have this character, he's not just a bad guy. He is a friggin' tortured dude at the same time. He is messed up. And I think that's also what's really brilliant about it. He's not just bad and that's all he is. He's a messed up dude with his father's watch and just his intensity. And this idea, and that's what Del Toro talks about too, is that he's representing fascism as people who don't make choices, as people who just go along with what's been given to them without making hard decisions. And that's what the girl has to do. She has to make decisions. So there's all these different interpretations about like what he's trying to show here. And one of them that he puts out there too is that this is about Spain and about the Franco years where they're just coming out of it. And he sees this girl as Spain after the Franco regime is gone and becoming something that's better than what her past was or what she's been experienced with. And part of that is making these choices where you decide to do good things. And the ultimate choice in the movie is her deciding not to spill her brother's blood.
Right.
But it's just a pinprick. Why not? Come on.
No, but she also had a sense at that point too that it wasn't just that was going to be.
Was it the 7-inch dagger the guy was holding? I couldn't tell.
At that point, she
hey, we
had
need a
sense,
pinprick, but I've got a knife that'll cut the baby in half.
Right, and that was
what
the
do you
test.
think?
That was the test. She was not to trust the fawn, and she was given, everything led up to the idea that the fawn was no longer trustworthy, so she couldn't even trust that.
But I will say, what was the fucking?
choice.
I mean, I didn't understand about that. Now I'm realizing it is. Okay, so you're not going to trust that he's only going to give a pinprick, and you're not going to trust that you're not supposed to eat the grape when you see this weird-looking white thing sitting at a table with 3-inch claws, not moving, and the guy says, "Don't eat, or you're going to die." Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll take the grape.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that whole thing.
I think the whole point is that she's learning to not just follow orders, which is kind of like what the captain is doing. Like he just blindly follows orders. And
like she has to she also to get that dagger in the first place. She goes to she has some intuition about what door it should be behind. That's different than what the fairies.
The fairy said, go to the middle one. Yeah.
So she's learning to trust her own instincts, I guess.
Right. That's what Del Toro says in the commentary too. That
you got pretty far there, Joe. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, timer's going off. Halfway point. Halfway
to you.
Happy halfway to us.
Go fuck yourself, stupid list. The bottom half is done. Boom.
Yeah.
Well done.
What were we talking about?
I see what you're saying there, Denny, though. I mean, I guess that makes more sense, but I was just, to me, all I was thinking from a, non-commentary folk was,
well, look at you
this
over
dumb
there.
little shit.
Yeah.
You're not going to listen to these people? He said you were going to die. You've been watching
The
people
fairies are
die
like, no,
all
no,
around you.
don't.
And
Right.
you've been watching people get shot and killed and all this other shit, and you're going to go, I'm good, I'll take the grape. I don't know.
Right.
Well, you're supposed to. So what I missed too is that she goes to bed without dinner, and so that's supposed to be a
Right,
factor
she's
there
starving.
too. She's starving.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
But I agree. I
get
started
it.
with UTC. There were like these 2 points in the movie before I like tried to research it and sort of watched what Del Toro thought was going on. Like one is like the first part is the girl taking the grape, and then the second one is Mercedes letting not killing the general outright when she had a chance.
Yeah, why didn't she
I
just
agree
slit
with
his
that.
throat?
He explains that too, John. Did you get that far?
He does. I know. Yes,
Yeah.
he does. He explains
John watched
that
the whole
they-
thing. He's just lying.
Yeah.
No,
How far did you
I
get?
actually,
Jesus, that's the end of the
I
movie.
fast-forwarded to those
Like I
two
say, he's like, I got
parts.
5 things already from him from the
Yeah.
commentary. Like, I only watched a little bit. Yeah.
I did, but I fast-forwarded those 2 parts because I wanted to make sure to see what Del Toro had to say about them.
Oh, and you got your answers, John. Don't you love him? Don't you love Del Toro?
I love those answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Del Toro
So what
said
was the
that
reason on the second
well,
one?
first, Del Toro said that they were very careful about how long that knife was. They wanted to make sure that it was only a small paring knife that wouldn't be able to do enough damage to him.
You could still slit his throat.
So that's the other thing, though. It's like, and he didn't really. What did he say about that? I mean,
He said like the
question
captain was like enough of a. I don't know what he said. He was like enough of a man, like he's meaty enough or something, where like a knife that small wasn't going to be able
right,
to
but
kill
she
him.
could have done more.
Even if
She
you
could've-
slit his throat?
yeah,
It would
she
still
could have gone after his
kill
neck.
him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Del Toro didn't really mention that part of it. Which, damn it.
Right, because it's convenently he's leaving that out because everyone knows that's what you could have
Is it-
done.
well,
Slitting a throat, you need like a pretty sharp knife, right? That thing is
Oh,
just like
that-
an
Fuck
onion.
that.
that's
You take that
actually-
thing and you
no.
slice through, you're going.
No,
You're
no.
done. You're bleeding out.
No. Slitting a throat is that's not easy.
Yeah.
I think remembering what
Yeah,
what
but
I've
with
heard in terms
adrenaline
of-
and full force, I don't know, man. Try it twice. Do it 3 times. You'd have enough chance.
right, he's stunned. He's there. She's probably got a chance.
He's barely
I don't know.
moving. Slice,
Yeah.
slice, slice,
Yeah,
slice,
I had
until
the
he
same
goes.
thought for sure.
You could say, she's not a killer. She's not a murderer. She did what she did out of self-defense, but she's also like stunned.
But
at
she
that
stabbed
point.
him like in the heart area. She's definitely trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
she
I
just
know.
she like, right. She had a 20-hour drive. She drove 19 hours and was like, someone take the wheel.
Yeah.
That guy's tough though. He got shot in the head and he's alive long enough to grab at the
Yeah.
hole in his face.
Right.
Oh,
right.
man, that
God.
son of a bitch,
Those
man. I'm
scenes
telling you.
Those scenes were also
And
just
the fact that he could
disgusting and
sew
amazing.
himself up.
And that
Oh.
Del Toro said that in that part of it, he was like, I really wanted to show that.
John
just
watched the entire
how-
goddamn commentary.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I skipped around. But he said that he wanted to just show how focused he was, how intense this guy could be. And he said this almost gets to superhuman here, and he really wanted to show that he sort of becomes a supervillain at this point, because of his intensity and his ability to sew himself up like that.
And like sewing yourself up like that is one thing, but like taking a
Yeah.
shot of whiskey right
oh God,
afterwards.
when you see,
Oh, what an
when you see
idiot.
the
God.
alcohol like bleed through the bandage, holy cow.
I was
that
gonna
was-
say, man, like the thing that was bothering me the most. I don't know if you guys have ever done anything like that to your body before, like just even if it's by accident, like something through your skin. I don't know about you guys, but my eyes watering no matter what. I got no
Yeah.
control over it. There is no like, oh, be a man. It's just
Yeah.
poke and then eye water.
Yeah,
like
you go,
I can't see anything. Oh
I
God.
can't, I'm done. Oh my God. I can't. Oh my God. I'm crying. Whole thing. So I was sitting there and I was watching. I'm like, you're telling me your eyes not watering? Fuck you. I was like pissed. Like his eyes should be crying like a motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're doing that to your face. I don't know if you've ever like pinched your
Oh,
nose
God.
or done anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Like my eyes watering.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Maybe he's just
I was a little annoyed.
built a specific way. I don't know.
Yeah.
he's
Built
just
for
they're
it.
trying to say he's a psycho, but they could have given a little bit of
But-
tear.
We could
Oh,
that would,
God
that might have
forbid.
helped a little.
And who am I, right? God forbid Guillermo missed one little fucking thing. And I'm,
Yeah.
he's not, his eyes aren't watering, dude. You suck,
He acted the hell out of that though. It was really hard to watch that scene.
Oh no, it was
really
good.
was.
He
It
was
really
again.
was.
He was just. I think doing a good bad guy is really hard. I don't think we have many good bad guys, and he is one of the best.
I think
the way
what
that was
happened,
all pulled
with the
off.
bad guys, I think you have to be able to be stoic and be like
Yeah.
that for every scene. And it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that intensity, right?
And revel
Right.
in being hated. You can't even have a part of you that wants to be liked. This guy goes
Well,
like full
no.
hateable.
And what Del Toro was just saying that he's lost. He has no humanity or concern for other people. He's like so almost in this clockwork world where he's not even thinking of other people's people, and that's why he has like these focus on the watch. And they also like built like the mill that he's in has this kind of clockwork exterior to it to sort of emphasize this point that it's almost like he's a machine, or and that's where his mindset is too. In terms of he's not even thinking of other people as people or anything like that. He's just and that his most human moment then is at the very end. There's actual emotion there from him to actually want. He's like moved by the place that he's in, where he's about to die.
And he's like, tell my son. And they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, I know. Fuck him. But that's actually, and again, this is the commentary. Sorry. I'm embarrassed. I made it that far.
He watched the whole thing.
Yeah, dude. Why'd you lie to us, John? Jesus.
I did not lie. I skipped
He didn't finish the credits of the commentary, but he did
I watched the
it.
first 20 minutes and then I skipped ahead.
5 minutes and I watched the next hour and a half. What do you want from me?
I don't know. All right. I watched most of the commentary. Anyway. But what he said was like, which I thought was really, really interesting, is that like then that's almost his human moment there. That's like the most human he is in the entire movie, even though fuck him, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But he's actually feeling something there, and he's not felt anything at all.
But it's also like speaking to his ego to think that like he's so good that these people would tell the son his last words. Like the ego involved in that. You know,
and they get in the commentary,
you.
he says that he's dead before the shot. Like them telling him that his son will not know who he is the killing blow. Even before and that's also the shot in the cheek with the eye going bloody.
Oh, dude, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great.
So many good deaths.
We
like
all know that if you got shot in the face like that, your head would just snap back, you down.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just a great,
you wouldn't,
like,
head wouldn't even snap down. Your body would just go down like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't be able to sit there and wait for your eye to pull up.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
Touch your face.
What a great effect. What a great effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I completely
Wrong
agree,
effect.
TC.
Do you want to hear a flaw? This is also in the commentary, right, John? The eye goes up and away from the gunshot, but in reality,
it would go down.
It goes towards the hole.
And Del Toro said that he learned that because he volunteered at a mental institution and would go eat his lunches in the morgue and talk to the morticians.
No. He would walk through the morgue to go eat his lunch in the graveyard outside.
Oh, right. Sorry, not
that
the morgue.
That seems like a normal thing to do.
I thought that was hilarious. He's like, yes, I used to go watch the bodies on my way to go eat lunch. And you're like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's really
like, nothing. I just had a job, Denny. Leave me alone.
But he is funny. Like on the commentary too, he like talks about the horses at length.
Best part, dude. Can I quote? Yeah. I have so many quotes from the horses.
You got that one in quotes.
He first of all, he hates horses. But yeah, apparently one of the horses almost killed one of the guys riding it. It stomped on his like pelvis and almost broke his pelvis. And he would have died if that had happened.
That's pretty crazy.
I hate them. They're nasty motherfuckers. He also said cows are evil. Nasty, psychopathic fucking animals.
Yeah, but the graveyard's cool. Love hanging out there.
Yeah,
and the dead bodies on the way. They're cool too. I say hi.
He said,
what the fuck?
He said, this is why I don't ever want to make a Western, but maybe I'll end up doing it. But if I do and you watch it, just you can think to yourself, boy, that fat fuck probably suffered a lot. Or something to that effect. He's just hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty damn entertaining. And he talked nonstop during the commentary, and every single thing he said was interesting and informative. It was awesome.
Oh, that's great. I got to watch it then.
Yeah. What else, John? What else you got?
I think I'm running out here. I think that was the only other thing. What else I know that he likes to sort of in various interviews, which I don't know if he said this in the commentary, but like the what's the name of the guy with the eyes in his hands? The
Pale Man?
Pale Man. The Pale Man he liked to think of symbolic as the Catholic Church.
Oh, really?
In terms of like
he did not mention that.
This was in a different interview that he gave where he said that like he's got all these riches in front of him, but he wants to go after the children.
That's probably just a joke. There's no way that's an intention for that character,
it's just a joke, right?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that was a joke, right? Just throwing that out there. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Funny.
But the other thing that is interesting is for Del Toro, this film, the fantasy parts are real. He believes that in this movie, in the context of this
what did
movie,
you think about that? Did you think that it was real or fake or what? Fantasy? Was it real?
No, TC. Well, the way you described it, you were like talking about and appreciating that this was more about the girl's imagination.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great. I also really like that interpretation of the movie.
I think it's more easily interpreted that way. I thought it was all in her head too.
But Del Toro, even when he says it, he says like, "Well, this is what I think is the reason, is the evidence in the film for why it shows it's real." So he's not even saying, he's so cool. He's not.
He
even
made
saying,
it, but he's not saying this is what it is.
No, but he's saying here's where I think the evidence is that shows that this is real.
Yeah, it's like he didn't even make it or something. It's so weird,
right? Yeah. But he mostly says that like that she was able to get into the general's room by drawing the chalk doorway, because there was no way she would have been able to get there before any other way.
From the white dude, the crazy dude?
Right.
Couldn't you be dreaming that too?
Well, there's enough evidence that there's like extra keys around, right? Because like the whole storage room thing with the extra key, like there could be an extra key to his cabin.
Right.
That's pretty easy.
Fair.
Right.
But to get into the general's room where there are guards and whatnot, he was, at least again in the commentary, he said this, that he felt that was kind of, to him, the evidence that the film, that her imagination was real, that she truly was born as immortal. And he just had these great ideas about how that truly, like children, to be immortal, you don't fear death, and you have to not care about death. And you have to make decisions as if you don't fear death, which is what kids do, and the little girl does.
Right.
It's interesting, but I like seeing this movie both ways. I like the interpretation of it being about a girl escaping to her imagination. And I also like the interpretation about this true fantasy test where she does get to be immortal and she does get to sort of be this princess.
And it's not vague enough to be like frustrating. You know what I mean?
No,
but I
exactly.
guess
That's
if she
the
didn't
thing,
die, would she ever end up there is the question.
Right. But yeah.
If you're Del Toro, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if you're everyone else, shut up.
It's
Guillermo.
maybe.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean that whole scene of them, like she's the only one that can see them too, right?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's not
well,
real.
Del Toro says, again, commentary says, people, it's funny because he'll say, yeah, this is where people say it's not real. But all it means is that it's not in his head. That's all.
Right, which is like when you go to the psych ward, that's like what every doctor. Yeah, no, they're
Exactly,
just
right,
experience. Yeah, right. Now they're normal. Yeah, sure, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fantasy. That's not real.
I think it's, but your point is well taken, Denny, too. It's not frustrating either way.
Right. No, it isn't. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Unlike Inception, where it's like,
cool.
come on, give me an answer, damn it. What is this?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a nice little, up in the air thing that they leave you with. Like, oh, it could have been all fake. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And the other thing, there's a lot of quotes that he takes from other fairy tales and movies and stuff throughout the film. Like there's a quote from The Wizard of the Oz. He points this all out.
The Wizard of the Oz, everyone.
Yeah.
The Wizard of the Oz.
Yes.
The Wizard of the Oz.
Welcome to the Oz,
Wizard.
Dorthon.
Oh,
Yes.
Wizard.
I am the Wizard of the Oz. We're out to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of the Oz.
That's right, John. You nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
Yes. Anyway, That's,
What did you expect more? You want us to make fun of you more? Is that what the pause was?
He's like, wait, guys, that's it? No.
yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why does the fucking fairy look like a praying mantis? I hate those fucking things.
It's
it's
like a
scary.
stick bug.
I was like, stick bug, praying man, whatever the fuck it is. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Like, did they choose that? Do you know, Denny? If because it was like creepy looking, or
Well, they had 2 stick bugs on set as like, I don't know why they chose the stick bugs, but they modeled it after a stick bug. They wanted to, they actually used like reference footage to animate it. And they knew they had like a bunch of close-ups. So they wanted to make sure that they knew it was going to be CG, and they knew CG looked kind of bad animated. So they really wanted to have these people, like the artistic directors, have an idea of how these things moved and things like that. So they had two stick bugs, and they named it Cheech and Chong, male and female stick bugs.
seems right.
They died during the filming of the movie, but together they had 100 other stick bugs. So they had like a shit ton of stick bugs
Oh, God.
to animate against.
Wait, so there was stick bug romance on the set?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Holy
generations of stick
shit,
bugs.
man! You
Cheech
can't
and
make
Chong
that
got
up.
it on.
You
I'm
can't
not sure
fucking
about-
make that up, dude.
What I liked was
Hollywood.
It allowed for it looked like it could be just natural at first to become more and more magical, and then eventually it transforms. And I just liked how that happened.
I kind of liked it, like, it's like fairy tales they pass down through time, and people translate them as they see fit. And like, if you've never seen that bug before, and if you're a little girl, you might say, "Oh, I saw a little like it looked like a little human, but it fly around."
Right.
And, like, you write that down,
Point.
and people take
Good
that
point.
and like interpret it as more human than it is. But the thing is like actually magic, so we can just be like, "Oh, that's what you think I look like? Cool, I'll change to that."
Right.
And just like shifts
that's,
over.
That's kind of cool
Right.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
anyway.
So I think that they explained why they animated it that way, but that's just my interpretation. They didn't say exactly why they started it as a bug.
Okay. It just seems like maybe it's just
You just
personal.
hate the bug. You're
I
like,
hate that
the
shit.
bug.
I'm like,
kill it.
fuck, man. What the fuck is that thing? Kill it.
Would you rather
Someone
have one of
step
those
on
things
that.
on you or one of those black roly-polies on you from inside the tree?
Oh, hell no. The roly-poly things
Give
are
me
pissing me off,
roly-poly.
too.
Oh,
God.
really?
It crawls up on her face. I'm like,
the
get
little
that
soot
out of
spray?
here.
You don't like the soot
Those aren't
sprites?
soot sprites, dude. Those are mud goblins.
Those are...
I don't know.
Those are
I
fucking
was
mud
creeped
goblins.
out more by the big old beetles that were crawling over while she was going through the mud
That's
in the
what we're
trees.
That's what we're
talking
talking
about.
about. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I thought you were
What are
talking
you
about. I thought we were still talking about the stick insect. No. So when you said
No.
roly-poly, I was
the roly-polies are
roly-polies.
the ball,
No, no,
big
no.
pill bugs.
Fat
I'm
fucking
sorry. I was
bulbous,
making
stupid
reference
things
back
crawling
to,
over her face.
I thought you were making reference to My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh,
where the
Totoro.
little suit sprites.
No,
So
No, we're
that's what I
making
was
reference
thinking.
to this movie still, John.
Yes,
we're
I know.
Still,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that was
You don't know what
that was
roly-polies
the
are,
bottom.
dude?
Went off the rail. Yeah.
Roly-polies.
Roly-polies are what? They're the little bugs that roll up, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, I thought I was going
Which
to go
is
right
what-
to the My Neighbor Totoro for some reason.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Oh,
Everyone,
just let
everyone
this
wants
one
to
go.
go to Totoro.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Put
Hey,
this way,
why not?
when that thing fucking crawled on her face, I was done. I was like,
Yeah, that was
I'd
pretty
be-
bad.
Yeah,
She was
losing
tolerant
it.
of all that shit. There were like bugs flying around her face. There was bugs crawling on her. She's just kind of like
Yeah.
keeps on going.
Big old
Right, which
toad
again,
right
here we
there.
go. We can argue against Guillermo here. None of that's real. She's not feeling it. She's
Yeah.
walking through some fucking tree root.
I mean,
There's
she
nobody there.
definitely was crawling through mud somewhere because she came back.
Right, but
all
it wasn't
disgusted.
with the bugs. She wasn't even feeling them.
It could have been.
Nah, I'm just saying. I'm just trying anything to.
But
to
you can
argue
tell.
against
TC,
it.
you're going to watch it again. Notice how towards the beginning of the movie, the two worlds are completely separated. One, the fantasy world with warm colors and round edges, and the real world with cold gray colors and sharp edges.
Wow.
And it's split in half towards the beginning. But as the movie goes on, those two themes start bleeding into each other. And they actually change the set design in a lot of situations to make it so those two things like started overlapping more and more as the movie went on.
Wow. See, this is the type of shit that makes you realize like how hard it is to be a filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
Because like the dummies like me watch the movie, like, I like the movie, you know, like they're like you're not thinking about like, oh, that was round at the beginning. Now it's fucking, oh, I could see that. Like that didn't even fucking cross my mind.
Yep.
And like there's some genius out there going, no, dude, that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be over the timeline. It's gonna be great. People will barely notice it, but the people that really love movies will love it.
And the thing is, too, I don't think it really matters for in terms of noticing it, knowing it. I mean, it's cool, but
No, it's like subconscious, but it still affects you some way as
I'm not
the
even
audience
sure
member.
if it's that. I think it's just most
You
of
don't
that
think so?
he has so many ideas for details that it makes everything more detailed.
No, I know, but just those little details, like we don't notice it at the audience, but like I think now that you do and you start to recognize, you're like, holy shit,
You
the
think?
thought process
It's
involved.
possible, but I think that, I mean, I
Yeah.
honestly think that kind of stuff doesn't matter, but I think the fact that he thought of it and put
think
so
it
much time
does.
into think of it to like actually doing it made the set design better in general.
No,
Like,
but I think for the eye and just like even if you're not really paying attention to it, the fact that it changes through the whole movie keeps you engaged and you're not bored. You're not seeing the same set design
That's fair.
as we start from
and
the
you
beginning
might
to the
be
end.
you might
You don't
be
even notice it, I bet.
feeling,
and it's
but
just,
you might be feeling it differently. I mean,
Right,
it still
right.
might have an impact on you. I mean, particularly, gosh, I got a cold still, but particularly in the theater.
John's sick.
Yeah, as usual. But like in the theater, I can imagine it even has even more of an impact, as well as the sound, like the more subtle sort of color contrasts
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, you might notice it more when it's a big screen.
Oh, I got a 65-inch 4K TV, guys. I saw everything.
Oh, look at you,
Nice.
Mr.
Good for
Fucking
you.
yeah.
Fancy pants.
Oh, look at General over here.
Yeah.
You know what we need to do is start making a tracker for John's sickness. We could probably develop an app on that.
I'm just
He's the
assuming
sickest
100%.
human in the world.
100%.
Here's the
Yeah,
sickest human in the
you're
world.
good. I think you're about. I mean, hopefully once the
Don't
winter
do what he
goes-
does.
Yeah, during the winter time, we're about a 50-50, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, the wintertime you're in a rougher spot than I am for sure.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's warm here still, so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, brag
think
about
we
it,
don't,
you
we don't
asshole.
send our children.
Damn
to
right with
daycare
your
there.
60-inch TV. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's raining here.
Hey, it makes it better.
Oh.
It might be a little 32-inch now. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's
So
good
yeah,
shit.
I'll go quickly, even though it's like pretty late in the episode. I agree with everything you guys are saying, even though I got a couple of gripes. I'm gonna
Okay, what are your gripes?
I'm gonna
How
echo
dare you,
all of your
sir.
things. I wish they didn't start the movie with her dying. I wish you didn't
Oh,
know.
right. I don't think it would have mattered to know.
I think it
or
would have
not.
been better if you didn't know.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, we could have done without it, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, because even, like, this movie, it's hard to tell where this movie's going, but knowing that's where you're going to end up, just kind of,
well, to be fair, I didn't connect the dots because I'm,
No, I
paying attention.
That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I
Does it help, John? Does it add anything? I mean, the whole fairy tale part in the beginning is great.
Denny, I will say, like, I did get to a point where I went, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did get to a point where it just dawned on me, like, oh shit, we're gonna see her die.
Yeah.
I don't know though, man. I thought so that the general or the captain was really, really evil the entire movie, but nothing is more evil than just taking his son and shooting a little girl and walking away without any emotion. But like, it was kind of like that weight of that scene, the violence there, and his evilness was taken away from the fact that I already knew she was gonna die.
Well, yeah, I teared up though. Still,
right?
I did.
Maybe that's why they did it.
But you're right, Denny. I see your point. Like, you could have been like that could have been like an absolute shocking moment at that point if you'd not known. I think it could go either way. I think that the movie has so many subtle and awesome things going on otherwise that it's like, and this is a device a lot of films use where or even great books will do. It's like, look, we could like keep you in suspense about what happens towards the ends of this, and that's one way that we could hold your interest. But there's so many other good things to do here that are more important than what happens in the plot that we're going to let you know what happens.
I don't know.
Or like it almost lessens the blow. I could see someone. I could see it, John. Good perspective. I could see it from a whole other side of it. From like when they're thinking about it in the writers' room, they're like, dude, people are gonna sob. We might want to lessen the blow.
Why would you not want people to sob? Of course you want people to sob.
Because the story isn't about living or dying. The story is about escaping from, just
but the reveal of her living
existence
would come after she got shot. So there'd still be the shock, but then it would explain to you, know. And I guess just thinking about it might not work because you couldn't explain like the whole movie. I don't know. Would it work if you just remove that? Because they explained the fairy tale stuff in the beginning, and that needs to be the beginning because it needs to be far away from the end. Otherwise, it would just be like exposition heavy towards the end. You'd be like, wait a minute, where did all this come from? But could you just remove her dying? That one shot?
I don't know.
From what Del Toro says in the commentary during that scene is like he felt he didn't understand the movie until or knew exactly where he wanted to go until he had that shot in his mind. To him, that shot defined the whole movie to him.
Oh, so this could be even a third thing where it could just be that important to him that he made sure he put it in
that still doesn't mean that you had to do that right. You had to show it right at the beginning either. But for him, the thought of.
However, it does make the fact of jumping into a story in the past a little bit easier. Like you start you start the movie off and it's the present, but the present is actually a story from the past, which leads you into that narration.
And you're thinking you're going into the past, but you can also be saying like, here is a story that is about the reversal of death. It's about cheating death, and we're going to show you how this happens.
Oh, that's true. Denny, he's got a point there.
Yeah.
Hey, John, very good point, John.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're not that sick. Not
in the head, at least. In the body, very much sick.
Oh, right. Mentally, you're good. Physically, not so much.
Yeah, better during the day. You guys catch me in the evening where things get worse.
Yeah. Another scene I didn't get was when he's eating dinner. One of the other generals, he like has the party or something, and they have food on the table.
He has like the mayor or whatever.
Yeah, and then the mayor mentions his father, and he like gets mad and brushes it off, saying like that's not what my father was like or something like that. Even though that's exactly what his father was like.
Right.
What the hell was that? I don't understand that part.
I just took it as here's a guy that does not deal with any kind of emotions, and his father in particular is like central to who he is, but he does not sit there and talk about anything squishy. This is not how this guy works, and so any kind of
except for his father, though, right? Because I mean, that's like the one thing that he's attached to is the watch.
It is, but he does not articulate this stuff. He is not going to talk about this.
Oh, he shaves 8 times a day, and he fucking sits there meticulously with a fake Q-tip.
So people bring up his father. Anyway, if people bring up his father,
fake Q-tip did it. That was what did it.
Good job, dude.
Yeah. That landed cool.
It did.
Fake toiletries get shot every time.
Yeah, I love it. Who knew?
Anyway, so again, you bring up something that even though it's really. Fuck you. Even though it's really like it is super important to him, and that's why he's like, "Fuck you, get out of my head." We're not going to talk about my father right now.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Dr. John over here using his doctor skills to the right.
Dr. John.
All right. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hey, John, you can go to bed now. You can just leave. You
All right. Thank
leave on the
God.
high note.
Speaking
right?
of, so John,
right.
let's stay in the captain's psyche right now. Let's stay in here.
Yes.
The scene
Okay.
where he's
Stay in the bubble.
I think he's either done shaving. It's one of his shaving scenes. At the very end, he slices the razor across the mirror against his neck, the reflection of his neck.
Mhm.
What's going
what
on
was that
there?
about?
What's
I
going
have no
on
idea.
there?
I think he's just pissed.
Does he want to die? Is that what it is?
I think he was like, I thought he was like swiping someone else. I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't think it was
enemies?
No,
that
it was
him.
against his neck.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
think he's
but-
miserable.
Oh,
I
I
think
don't know.
it's,
You
it's
think?
just showing that
Interesting.
he's miserable.
I mean, he
Um,
definitely went into battle without flinching. He
Right.
was like he was thinking about death all the time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. He was welcoming it in a way. Like
Or
dying in battle.
maybe he knew that if like he could separate himself enough where he hates himself that much, he can do whatever he wants.
Right. Like him coming out and facing the rebels and being shot by them and sitting there and standing stoically and taking it to him also seemed heroic to him, but he was going to have this final message for his son.
Well,
which,
that's
you
true.
know,
And I guess it actually brings back the point when they were first going against the rebels in the woods and he's
Yeah.
over there shooting people. Like he's
Right.
not going to let the staff do that first. You know? He's out there like, fuck this. It's the only good way to die, right? Boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
boom.
The other guy was like, "No, dude, fuck that. I'm staying behind this tree."
Yeah, so the tree works, dude.
Guys, check it out. Trees.
Hey, man, tree bullets, not good. The bullet doesn't go through. I can sit behind the tree.
I'm good here. I'm good. I
Hey,
don't
boss,
need,
I'm good,
Don't
boss.
need to advance, boss. Good here. I'll hold the rear. They might
Yeah.
come around back.
I'll tell you, son, you loved them. You know, that
Yeah.
type of shit.
Did you smash your clock yet? I know you're
Yeah.
gargling, but smash that. All right, you got it. All right, now you can die. It's fine.
Yeah. No, tree. I was behind the tree. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, John. Sorry.
No. I think I don't know how clear it is. It just falls back to why I like this character a lot too, is that it's showing that he's not a happy guy. He is messed up.
He's fucked up. Yeah.
And he is not enjoying his life either.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of up there.
Fair enough.
Up in
Maybe
the
I'll
air,
get a
sure.
B. Give me a B minus.
Yeah. Think
on
about
that
it. If you
one.
come up with anything else, let me know later. But
Yeah.
the doctor,
Oh man.
the doctor
wow.
knows.
Give me hey, you know what? Write me
Yeah.
a doc, 6-page. Just put it on my
Yeah.
desk next week,
I'm
and I'll
gonna
get
give you
after it.
a
I'll give you
incomplete,
feedback later.
and I'll let you
Yeah.
present again in
Yeah.
2 weeks. How about that?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Right. If you don't do that, we're going to put you on a performance plan. And I'm sorry, John, but
You're gonna
yeah.
have to repeat
Yeah.
the 4th grade.
Oh, damn it! But all my
Fourth
friends
grade.
are in the 5th grade.
couldn't even give him fucking high school.
Yeah,
Dude,
it
4th grade would be hard.
I
You'd have to memorize all these animals and shit. That'd be
Yeah.
hard.
Dude, I'm not socially mature enough to play all their games and stuff too. It's pretty. It's
Your
not gonna work well.
participation grade would be in the dumps.
I'd be
You'd be-
bad.
yeah,
I'd be
you'd
bad.
be-
Oh man,
you'd-
dodgeball, I would
Yeah.
suck.
John, you
Yeah.
injured 4
I'd do
people
really bad
this,
at PE.
this one round of PE.
Yeah.
I can't throw it any softer.
Look, I'm just trying to get out of their way, and I trip over them, and I don't want to hurt them.
At the end of the day, Joe, John, you wouldn't have been a
'Cause they're
habitual
tiny
time
and I'm
waster.
big. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, if you don't know what John looks like, he's a tall, lanky dude, and I can totally. And he's stompy too. John, would you say you're stompy?
I am stompy.
Yeah. Okay. So when you turn around in a game of dodgeball, you might be kneeing 3 kids in the face without even knowing
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh God! I'm gonna fail my class.
Sharp knee.
Oh.
Coming in.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
John's
I
knee.
think I twisted my ankle.
Yeah.
Everyone would get injured in that situation.
Yeah.
Or to be quite honest, I imagine back then even the bullies were like, dude, he's sick again. I can't do it. He's sick. He's gonna get me sick. I can't do it. You know, even back then it was a problem.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
One of the other problems I had with the movie was that the doctor, he knew when they went and raided the camp that they found the medicine, right? The doctor knew they found medicine. They talked about it. Him and Mercedes, they talked about it. Am I wrong
Yeah,
there?
Right.
But
No,
he
no,
still left the exact same vial in his like go-to medicine case.
Yeah, but
Oh, there's
I mean,
no other kind.
No, there
What other
is.
vial do you
They
have?
show you different vials in the movie.
Oh, so you're saying the guy's not efficient enough as a cheat?
He should have
Yeah.
been sneakier because like his
He
life
should
is
have
on the
been
line.
not even a
He
sneaky.
should have hit him. Yeah,
And don't
that
leave
one I
your,
didn't know
don't leave
about.
your case just
I was
open
like,
over there. Like, Jesus.
Yeah,
but that wasn't
that's a good
enough.
point, Denny. But he's
Yeah.
so disturbed by the fact the guy's hands in 2 pieces.
And the thing is, too, I'm not even sure that matters. So that's a complaint. But when he kills him,
That wasn't enough. That wasn't what did him in anyway. What did him in was he.
but the thing is, would he have
killed him.
shot him if he didn't already know that he was kind of going behind his back? Because he figures out while he's killing that tortured guy, he goes away. He figures out that the doc is like against him, comes back, knows that, sees that he
Right.
helped like kill him, and then kills him. But if he didn't know, if he just like helped kill him, would he have let him
It could
live
have
or what?
it could have tipped the balance. I mean, he didn't know for sure. He was going to be like, so how do when you got morphine, does it only come in these kinds of ampules, or are there other ampules for it? I'm just asking. I know for a friend, I don't know. He could have maybe he was going to do some investigation at that point.
Doesn't sound very captain-like, John.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, though, is if you're a captain and you're that inefficient, you're going to kill the only person that can save everyone? Fucking idiot.
That's
what I thought. Like, when he's shooting the doctor, I'm like, he's the doctor. You don't shoot the doctor. You fucking torture him a little bit. You tell him to go back to his quarters.
The doctor told him off.
He has a fragile ego.
For sure.
He can't be told.
I know, but how good of a captain are you if you can't even fucking
He's not a good captain.
He's not. He
loses his fucking village because he's.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying, right? I fucking don't respect him.
Yeah.
Good. Who cares? No one cares.
That's a good thing. I'm glad you don't respect the captain.
Hey, shut up and listen. The movie's on. That type of shit. Yeah, I just don't understand that move at all. I mean, another thing a captain should know is that people are going to betray you. So maybe don't kill the guy that can save your life when you get shot. Or
at least shoot him in the leg and then force him to do some, do the birthing, the delivery.
Yeah, you might want to get maybe your face sewn back up somehow. I don't know. Just a thought.
Nah, he's got it. Don't worry about it. He's not going to change his shirt or anything either. He's going to walk around with the bloody shirt.
He's just going to walk around with the blood on him. Yeah. I noticed that too, Daddy.
Oh, dude, did you get stabbed in the back? Oh, in the arm? Jesus, dude. Are you okay? I'm fine.
Dude, it was 2 hours ago. It was 2 hours ago. I'm good. Yeah. Anyone got any super glue?
Oh.
So you guys want to get into trivia?
Go.
Sure.
You got anything else in the movie before we do so?
No, I think I'm good. I think I've hit
bring it up. You've gushed
all
enough.
my points.
You got to pull 125's worth of gushing out just then.
That's right. I feel like I just released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie has a companion piece movie, The Devil's Backbone. I don't know if you guys have heard about that one before.
No.
I might have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But it was a while ago.
It's pretty good. It doesn't stand out as much as this one. The production mostly just isn't as good as this one. The production of this one is just out of control. And the acting is really good. And the story is, I don't know, just this movie's just better, obviously.
Have you seen Kronos?
Yeah. A while ago. I went on a kick back in 2006 when this movie came out.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, none of them are as good.
So, I want Lady in the, or whatever it is, Shape of Water?
Shape of Water.
Oh, is that as good?
I heard that one was really good, actually. Someone, a friend of mine,
liked
was
it?
gushing about it. No, she was like, I fucking love that movie.
So if you guys haven't seen it, I don't know. We saw it in the theaters, and Naomi's sister said something out loud during the middle of the movie that split the audience. Either everyone was laughing at it the rest of the movie, or everyone else was pissed because everyone was laughing at it.
So she actually said something during the movie?
Yeah, she said it loudly. It was hilarious.
Did you? Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a scene. You'll know what I'm talking about when it happened. She went, "Oh my God." That's all she did. She did it loudly, and then half the audience started laughing. The other half. If you've seen the movie, audience, you know what scene I'm talking about. It is ridiculous.
I get it. So it wasn't she just couldn't control it.
She couldn't control it.
No, I know. I know kind of what I've heard a little bit about what happens in that film, but I really want to see it now, though. Regardless,
the production.
I was just at a film this weekend with my mother, and she had a moment like that when something happened, and I was just like, "Really?" But it was because she couldn't control it, right? She was just like, "Oh, Jesus," just like that.
Dude, I saw the movie Saw in the theater, and me and my friend when he was when they were sawing each other's legs off towards the end, and the guy who plays Wesley in freaking Princess Bride is one of the guys in the room, and he says this line. He's like, "Shoulder wound." I just burst out laughing, and people in the theater were
and everyone else was like, "Dude, this is
it was the end of a horror movie," and I'm just there uncontrollably laughing.
I didn't know Wesley was in Saw.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
He's one of the two characters in that movie.
Wow,
that's funny.
I might need to see it at some point.
Oh, the first Saw, dude, totally worth watching.
Was it good? Yeah. Do you know what Del Toro's next movie is going to be?
I heard it was.
No.
Is he going to do some stop motion for something scary? That's it used to be G-rated, but now it's going to be R-rated.
Yep.
I forget what it is, though. As specific as that is. I forget what the title is.
Yeah, that's a good one, Denny.
Really
Thanks. I really nailed it.
It's still a miss, yeah.
It's like James and the Giant Peach or something like that.
No, it's Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, that's what it is.
Get out of town.
He is going to be doing Pinocchio, yeah.
What,
stop motion R-rated.
Stop motion R-rated Pinocchio.
Can't wait.
For
Holy fuck.
Netflix is doing it.
Oh, well, even better. I don't even have to go anywhere to watch it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the way Netflix is doing it now, they're releasing in theaters because they're awesome
releasing,
now.
Yeah.
That's true because that's what we're doing, and they obviously need to do that too.
He says, no art form has influenced my life and my work more than animation, and no single character in history has had as deep of a personal connection to me as Pinocchio.
Oh my God. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be really good then because he's so connected to it.
He said, in our story, Pinocchio is an innocent soul with an uncaring father. He gets lost in a world he cannot comprehend. He embarks on an extraordinary journey that, my website, something happened.
Oh, that's what's my website.
So anyway,
like, what part's that?
Yeah, sorry, I lost the.
Del Toro needs better internet.
Happened.
That's for sure.
Yeah, he really needs some better connection there. Yeah,
hold on. Let me continue here.
That's that Time Warner.
he embarks on an extraordinary journey that leaves him with a deep understanding of his father and the real world. I wanted to make this movie for as long as I can remember.
Fucking hell,
oh
man.
my
it's gonna
God.
be good.
Yeah.
All you got to do to make the movie you want to do is win Best Picture. That's all you need.
I really hope that the production is one of the best out there, for the
It's got to
motion.
be. It's
got to
got
be,
to be.
right?
Fantastic Mr. Fox animation director
fuck
Gustafsson will
Here we go.
co-direct.
Yes.
It's going to be great. I'm definitely seeing this in the theater. Kidding me?
And Del Toro is also working with Corpse Bride Puppeteers.
So were we talking about Wes Anderson after?
Yeah.
And just being like, wouldn't it be cool if he did a stop motion horror movie?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorites,
Yeah.
too. I love
It's a
that
great
film.
movie. Yeah.
That's exciting. Does it say when it's going to come out?
I think it was 2020, maybe.
That's not too far away.
So it's in production right
Yeah,
now.
buddy. Speaking about in production, did you guys see that Dune started production?
Yes.
Oh, shit. So
my
we got a
God.
year
I love
before
that
that's done?
joke that was running around Reddit for a while, too. What was it? Who was going to gain 2,000 pounds so he could play
Christian
a
Bale.
sandworm? Christian Bale was going to gain
175,000 pounds.
Yeah, so he could play a sandworm.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's the link I sent you guys. But TC doesn't have an Apple phone, so the little thing doesn't pop up and show you what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't always pop up. So I'm just like, that looks like a link. I'm
Not
too
gonna
busy
click
click
it.
that.
Look
Yep.
at that. It's pretty funny.
No,
All right, I'll
it's
try.
exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, so back to trivia on this movie. The companion piece, Devil's Backbone, was made 5 years before this movie. And this movie takes place 5 years after Devil's Backbone, and it was made 5 years after Devil's Backbone. So it kind of linearly correlates with the period of time in between them. Is that good trivia? You thought about keeping that in there. Does that even make sense?
I'm not
It's
sure what
fair.
you just said, so but it might just be my low IQ.
Movies, it's just interesting. I guess interesting that the movies were made 5 years apart and were set 5 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he equated the Spanish Civil War with September 11th. So that's kind of strange.
Oh.
Well, he just said it was sort of a different world in that those attacks had happened in the meantime, and that sort of also changed some of his thoughts too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Part of the reason he wanted to make the violence so violent and scary is that in that Spanish Civil War that happened back in 1944, half the 500,000 people that got killed were killed in cold blood, which means execution style or like not during a battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of the violence. He just wanted to depict that as scary as possible and show how evil people would have to be able to do that sort of thing.
Right.
I think it works pretty
Makes
good.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
The legs on the fawn, you guys, coolest special effect I've ever seen in a behind the scenes. You kind of have to see it to understand what's going on, but basically there's no special effect to how the fawn is. None. The eyes are animatronic. The mouth is his actual mouth and blended into the helmet. All the hair is real. All that stuff is makeup. And his legs, the only digital part is they remove the green screen legs of the actual guy standing in it. There's how his legs are kind of bent. It's going to be really hard to describe it, but it's all real. What you see is all real. And all you're missing is a green leg going from kind of where his butt is to where the hoof is kind of thing.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They built this whole thing.
Because that's the easiest part to manipulate, right? Because it's
take it out?
It's because it's a rigid line, the
Right.
leg, right? Whereas opposed to the rest of it's all moving.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic looking thing on screen. I have
And
to say.
this guy, Doug Jones, he was the guy inside of it. He's very famous, I think, mostly because of this movie, but now he's even more famous. He does any movie where there's a tall, skinny guy in it, it's Doug Jones. Del Toro, look at his IMDb. He does crazy stuff in movies. First time he met Del Toro was 3 days on set of the movie Mimic. He was one of the tall bug creatures in Mimic, and he kind of nerded out with Del Toro for a little bit. So, and he gave him his card, and his card was just a funny picture of his face and said Doug Jones on it, and that was it. And he didn't hear from for 3 years until he was doing, what was it, Hellboy?
Wow.
Then he did the tall, I don't know if you guys have seen Hellboy or not.
Uh-huh.
You know the tall blue guy with the big eyes?
Right, the water guy.
Doug Jones. That's Doug Jones.
Yep.
So same guy as
DJ.
Pan. So then he called him after that movie, he did a really good job. And he called him for this one. And he's like, you're the only person who can play the Fawn. And he's like, oh, fuck. Okay, that's a lot of pressure. Fine, I'll take the job. And then he learned later that it's a Spanish-speaking movie. He did not speak Spanish. He learned Spanish for this movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
He also.
Can I
he
just
also
say
plays,
that Spanish just sounds fantastic in a low voice.
Yeah.
In a very low voice.
But that wasn't his voice.
¿Por qué no?
That was
no
all dubbed.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
it just sounds so good in that.
But how well did it line up?
deep
For a
voice.
second did you think that Fawn's voice was dubbed?
Nope.
No, I didn't.
Every
Well,
single thing was
okay,
dubbed.
no, sorry. I knew it was dubbed because they just dub everything these days when there's a character that's not. Yeah. But I
fair,
didn't it didn't hit me by the sound that it
They
was
lined it up
obviously
perfectly.
dubbed. Right.
I mean, it sounded.
Dubbed?
I thought it sounded great. And it matched the levels with the rest of the voices
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
scenes.
very even. Yeah. Did not. Yeah.
But
agreed.
like, so this guy sat in a chair for 5 hours. They put on an entire bodysuit, like multiple
this
parts.
is every day.
This is every day.
Oh, man.
They said the helmet weighed about 20 pounds with the horns, and there was like servos and whatnot to move the eyes and the cheeks and things like that. His eye holes were through the tear ducts of that helmet.
Wow.
So like if you look, there's little dark spots in like the corners of his,
wow.
like the inside
that's where his
portions.
eyes were.
That's
Oh,
where he
man.
could see. He's like, that was really hard to see. So I'm on these stilts. He's on stilts, which are about 2 feet tall for these things, with like weights hanging off the front part of his shins and thighs for the knee part of the Fawn. And the way the stilt is, so like he doesn't fall over, are kind of like high heels where his feet are angled at like a 35-degree angle or whatever. So he's like on his toes. So he spent months before this just weight training on his toes so he'd be able to do this in the suit.
Wow.
So he was in there,
Dedication.
5 hours of makeup,
Man.
putting this helmet on, couldn't see anything, standing on stilts, high heel stilts pretty much, and then acting the way he does. It's fucking crazy. The guy's like the man.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't make those kind of people up.
No.
Like,
This guy was
that's
like
pretty
built
awesome.
for this role.
Right.
Yeah.
Like his weird skill set of things makes sense that
Yeah.
he's the one that they chose. Yeah.
And is the only
cool.
person in the world that could probably do this the way he did it.
I wouldn't doubt that.
He said the hardest scene was the one where he was yelling at the little girl and backing up as he was like, he was telling her that like she failed.
He was pissed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
backing up in a dark room with those things on, and then he had to duck at the end of it. So he had to like, his acting was the hardest then because he had to be angry. He was walking backwards and not being able to see forwards, but he was like walking blindly backwards. And then he had to like crouch down super fast.
Right. Which he did very well.
And he did it in one take.
Oh, so I mean, it wasn't that hard.
No, he said it was exhausting because he wouldn't be able to do it again. He's like, thank God everyone started clapping after I was done, which means that I was like, it was good. Because
Oh, man,
he
can
couldn't
you
do it
imagine?
again.
That's a hell of a. That's like, I never reached that point in filmmaking, but I would imagine that like when you're on set and you're working in these kind of conditions, and this is like everybody knows this is it. Like this is the fucking shot that we need. It's going to be difficult because everyone's aware of what's going on, right? All the different pieces have to know what's going on in order to perform their jobs correctly. So they're all aware of what's about to happen. And then they see it go down and it's perfect. And then, the sound guy holding the booms like, fucking A.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah. He looks over at the camera department, fucking A. And then you know what I mean? Like they're all looking at each other like, fuck. And then they
Like,
all
this
start
movie's going to be
clapping.
really good, right? I'm pretty sure.
That's gonna be when you know that you're in filmmaking and you're like, I love this job. Like those
Aw.
are the fucking moments, right?
That's
Have
what
to
he,
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
He says, Doug
Yeah.
Jones says that even though his career has brought him many more places since this movie, because the main reason, I mean, he was great in this movie. This movie won Oscars. It's one of the most highly regarded foreign movies ever made in this country. But he was the only like English speaking American that worked in the movie. So he did the rounds to promote the movie in Hollywood. So
Oh,
he
wow.
said like by far it was the most promotion he'd ever done since or before. And like it made him a household name. And he's been getting work on movies since. Like he has.
Since no problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So
have
he's
to
like
look.
super appreciative. And he says like even beyond that appreciativeness towards this movie, the fact that there's so much passion. He's like Guillermo del Toro. He said he's worked with like Oscar winning directors, some of the best in the world, like his entire career. Guillermo del Toro is still his favorite because of like the passion he has and like his focus on like what he wants pretty much.
No, I mean, trust me, I've worked around very few indie filmmakers and I've been very impressed by even that level of dedication from the directors and that higher level type role. I mean, it's fascinating to see people in those moments because I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but I go to work, I go home, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that's it. And like, their brains never stop. I think that's what's so amazing. Like, I guess that's what differentiates it from, you know, a job, quote unquote, to just art, right? Is like, that's how you become that successful. You have to be living and breathing those situations. And it's
beautiful
neat to see
him on these interviews too, or this one of the interviews I saw him on. He had this notebook with him, and he's like, "Yeah." And so I was writing about this, and he opens it up, and there's the picture of the fawn, along with a whole lot of writing. I mean, it's just like he's constantly like carrying these notebooks around and writing in them, and making drawings about what he's thinking about doing.
Right. So it's amazing. It's awesome.
But
and
very
we
well
get a
said,
movie
TC.
like this, and we're like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Thank God for them, huh?"
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, he almost lost his notebook in a cab. So he has like a notebook he'd been working on for 20 years that has all the ideas and drawings that he made for this movie. He used it as like a guideline. And he left it in a cab one day. And he thought they were like pre-production when it happened. And he thought that the movie was going to fall apart because like he was really leaning on that book. Apparently it was like full of everything.
Right.
But
all his notes.
the cabbie found him after 2 days, went like out of his way and found him and gave it back.
Probably opened it and was like, "Oh fuck, this guy needs this.
Yeah,
Whoever
like,
this is, he needs
good.
it. Yeah, this guy needs this." All he was doing was taking a cab. I'm a nice guy. I just drive a cab. I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
I'll find him.
What am I going to do with this?
Make a movie.
Sell it after the movie gets famous? Oh, the movie needs to be made for shit. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
The tree is supposed to be fallopian tubes.
I thought so.
Oh, you did? I didn't pick up on that. John, did you get that?
No, but I heard him describe it as such. And I
So
was
she's
like,
pretty much like crawling into a vagina when she's going into the tree.
Well, the only other reason why is I noticed it when the baby was bleeding out too. They drew it on the paper.
I noticed that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was a little more.
I saw like a pattern there, and I didn't care for it, but
Yeah. Not a fan of the bloody tubes. He said that the best moment in his life was sitting next to Stephen King during a screening of this in New England and watching Stephen King squirm during the Pale Man scene. Said it was better than winning an Oscar. Now, there's a scene where the doctor... Is TC still there? TC's
we might have
gone.
lost TC. Did he just drop off? Did we lose LA? Is LA gone?
LA gone.
Let's see. LA destroyed? This is how we find out the world's beginning to end, Denny.
Because TC drops off. It's like Starship Troopers.
Yeah. We can just mention how TC lost internet, and we can text him, top 250 or not.
Yeah. I can call him on the phone and he can speak it into my microphone.
There you go.
I mean, I think we didn't really talk. The last thing I'll say is like we didn't talk about this specifically, but one of the things he talked about at the end of the commentary was how the plan was like exactly as like the fawn wanted it to be. Like all the failures were a part of the plan.
Right.
And you can tell that because like the fairies didn't die because they're back in the end. And
right. Like this was all a coordinated thing.
Right.
That
there was no danger.
Really like,
there was no actual danger in the Pale Man room, which is kind of weird.
If she'd agreed to have her brother's blood spilled, he wouldn't have done it.
Right. And if she
just failed the
didn't
test.
eat the grape, like they wanted her to eat the grape because that shows that she has like a free spirit or whatever.
Well, I don't know about that one. No, he said in that part that the fawn was always going to give her another chance. But I don't think it because he had to, because ultimately it's what she makes her final decision, what she decides then to do.
But that was kind of unclear. So you think it's like the entire tests up to the last one, they weren't important. They were just going to get her to the last one no matter what.
They're kind of preparing her for it to kind of like make sure that she can make it that far, to be brave and to make some decisions.
All right. Can she crawl in the mud? Yeah, she can crawl in the mud. All right. Can she put some milk under the bed? Yeah, she's pretty good at that too.
Yeah,
oh, damn. She's pretty princessy over there.
That one was more about possibly just helping her mom out.
Yeah. Do they bank on the baby? I mean, they knew the baby was a part of the factor. The mother was standing with the two children.
What if the baby didn't make it?
Yeah. Plus, also like the statue in the fawn's hideout or whatever in the what is that? It's not the labyrinth. It's like the hole in the center of the labyrinth, whatever that thing is.
Uh-huh.
There's the statue, and it's the mother holding the daughter and the baby. So she's supposed to be alive or something, or that's just them in the kingdom afterwards. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. We lost TC. but I'm going to do something we haven't done yet to make sure he gets hit on record, even though you could probably tell what his answer is going to be.
Eh?
Oh,
you're back.
Fucking hell, man.
I was calling you. I was going to have you do it through my microphone.
No, all right, so let me hit record again. I recorded as long as I could. I was like, I might as well stop it. And then I shouldn't have. I should just let it go. I don't know. I mean, lights dimmed and then we lost everything. So,
Huh. Power
yeah,
drop
my
out.
roommate said, though, I think something fucked up power-wise. So that sucked.
Oh, well. It's good now. We just had a couple more
All
things of trivia, but there was nothing much.
All right, let me hold on and go. All right, recording.
And you're back just in time for the question, TC. Would you put this in the top 125 movies of all time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are we ever going to switch that question up even when we're in the top 10? Is it still the top 250?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe once we get there. I don't know.
John, would you put on the
say
top
top
250?
Do we move from the top 250 to like the top 125 or something?
Nah,
Like,
doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely. I just tried it.
Doesn't.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Well, the list still has. We still got to give the list respect until we're done. Then we can fucking let it go forever.
That's fair.
John, would you put it on the list?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely, for sure.
buddy.
So
You know, if TC loves it this much, it's got to be good.
No, absolutely.
do we want to try a special episode next week, or just kind of go on with the list here?
What's the next movie? I gotta get the
The next
context
movie
first.
is the movie Room, made in 2015.
What the hell is that one about?
Don't read about it, TC. Just watch it blindly.
Is it a movie about a room?
Not The Room, by the way.
Not The Room.
because
Yeah, big difference.
Just room.
Yeah. It's got
Okay.
Brie Larson in it. Make sure it's that one.
Oh, geez. Held captive for years in an enclosed space. A woman and her young son finally gain their freedom, allowing the boy to experience the outside world for the first time. That sounds fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie's big
I
time.
might like this one.
Yeah, you might.
Well,
All right.
I did float the idea that we maybe should just sort of as a celebration, given that we've learned about IMDb users, to watch the worst rated IMDb movie of all time as sort of like a middle of the list celebration.
And really show our, do we want to do that? What's at the bottom right now? Disaster movie still at the bottom.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what's funny is that we actually had a guest on previously who already said that idea before you said it.
Really?
That's
And
a
I was
popular
like-
one.
Said that.
I was like, wait, when you said it, like when you thought about it, I was just like, wait, what? Didn't I hear this already? And then I just realized it was
which
from
guest was it that said that?
Sana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like, you guys, you know what you should do? She was saying.
Nice.
But so maybe we should do that. That's two people.
I don't know, guys. This movie looks fucking terrible.
Well,
That's
yeah.
but we could be like MS3K or whatever that show was, right? Just be shitting on it the whole time. Be great.
Yeah, there's going to be nothing to talk about. It's just going to be infuriating, and it's going to be a 10
No, what do you
minute
mean? There's
long
going to be
podcast.
so much to talk about because it's infuriating. And how about this? And how about that? No, anyways, I don't care what we do next week. This other movie looks pretty gnarly.
It does. We'll throw it up in the air. We'll at least get to the room in the next 2 weeks. We can make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Room.
Okay.
It's not
Room.
The Room.
Sorry. No,
The
let's
Room.
watch. Oh, we could watch The Room.
We could watch
We
The
could
Room.
watch The
if we
Room
wanted
and then
to.
watch Room
Right.
and compare and contrast.
Because I would like to see that movie. I haven't
Yeah.
got to see it yet.
Oh, Tommy Wiseau.
Okay.
It's a good one. Wiseau? Wiseau?
Was it?
Supposed to be an amazingly good bad movie.
Yeah.
So
well,
bad
back to back
it's good.
Room in The Room.
I mean, Room's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, so
Yeah.
it sounds like it's going to be pretty
a
heavy
winner.
hitting.
It's the movie that made Brie Larson Captain Marvel. So there's that.
And it's off of a book, so
Gotta love that. It's at least got words in it. It's a good thing.
well, it comes from a place that already had a flushed out story. Usually that's decent.
So yeah, do you guys have anything else for this movie?
No.
No. John?
Good film. Go watch it.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Go to our website, mission250filmcast.com. The list is frozen. There are upcoming episodes. We're halfway done. We have a lot of other episodes. There's trivia and stuff. Like and subscribe on Facebook and Twitter, and like and subscribe on your podcast app or however that works. I don't know. Still don't know. Someone else has to do these end things.
Wow.
Ah, fuck you, Denny.
Yeah.
Listen to the fucking podcast and fuck the general, huh?
The captain, not the general. We're talking about the old
fucking
guy.
general,
I've
captain,
been calling him the
whatever.
general the
Buster
whole
Keaton.
time. I'm an idiot. That's my bad.
Yeah.
We just
Sorry.
couldn't stop thinking about the movie, The General. That's
Yeah.
all.
He steals a train and drives it directly into a fawn. It's a good movie.
There you go.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you
All
next
right.
week.
See you later.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.